Hi there, folks. My name is Jose Barco. I'm a community organizer, group process designer, and facilitator, and I carry out a lot of my work through Zoom these days, especially since the pandemic. But I've been working with Zoom for a long time. It's a fantastic tool, which is widely used, but not everyone uses it to its highest potential, let's say. And so, firstly, uh, if you are going to be working with Zoom or if you're going to be joining one of our training sessions as a participant, you might want to create a Zoom account. You go to zoom.us and you can create a free account. With a free account, you can get up to 45-minute phone calls, video calls with anyone you like. You just invite them by sharing a link. And so, in this video, I'm going to explain to you how Zoom works for you as a participant and how to get the best out of Zoom for you as a trainer, as a facilitator, or as just anyone who wants to get the best out of any meeting spaces that you have with friends, colleagues, or family. Okay, and so you go to Zoom the US, you create your account. If you're joining a training session, you will be getting a link in an email that you can click on, and it's gonna bring you to Zoom.us. Then a button is gonna appear for you to join the meeting. Once you join the meeting, you are going to have this screen appear. Okay, and when the screen appears, you'll have an option to join with your computer audio, or you can test your speaker and microphone beforehand if you'd like. Let's just go ahead and join with computer audio. Okay. And so once you've joined, I'm going to expand this window. Once you've joined, um, usually as a facilitator, I have it set up so that participants come in with a closed mic. So you might want to just maybe open your mic and say hello to people in the room if it feels appropriate, if you're on time. If the meeting has started, you might want to keep it muted. And what you could do, so you click on this little arrow pointing up, and you can make sure that you have selected the right microphone. In this case, I'm using a sound card, but don't worry about that. You'll just be probably using your microphone from your computer. So you select the right microphone, you make sure that's selected. If you like, you could go to audio settings and you can do a sound test there. Okay, you can test your mic, you can test your speaker. Okay, you can adjust the levels and so on. All right, and so on here you get many other settings which we can look into either later or another time. So video is quite nice when people join meetings, in their face is seen, their expression is seen, not just their voice is being heard, so that we know that people are actually there, they're paying attention, we're being listened to, we feel heard. But also there's more empathy because we have, yeah, it feels like there's actual human contact. If you're joining one of our sessions, I strongly suggest that you do your best to make sure that you join us through video. If your bandwidth is low, your internet is low, then you might want to then stop your video at times so at least you can be heard and you can hear people. All right. And so to get the best possible bandwidth, make sure you're connected directly to your internet. That definitely helps, and close as many tabs as you can on your internet browser and any other applications that you might not be using. Okay, what else is a participant? So if you want to raise your hand because you have something to say, the trainer has asked a question and you want to respond to that, you click on reactions on the bottom menu and you click raise your hand. And then once you see that a little hand has appeared there, then once that hand is appeared, then the facilitator might take your word. When you finish picking, please lower your hand as well. All right. Is So right now the menu that you're seeing is actually my what you're seeing right now is a participant menu. Yeah, so I'm joining myself twice. So up here on this box is me, the participant, and the biggest image you can see is me, the facilitator, through my mobile phone, which is just over here. Okay, and so as a participant, I really quite like it when people make sure they have their name on. And so if you just find your name if you click on participants and you find your name, as soon as you arrive into the space, you've checked your sound, you find this little button to the right hand side that says more. You click on it, you click on rename, and you can write your name there. Okay. I often ask people at the beginning of a session to also rename themselves, saying where they're joining us from. So I'm joining you from Colombia. It's warm and not so sunny out there right now because it's the afternoon. So I rename myself, and voila, the name has changed. Okay. As a facilitator, when I'm joining, meeting with other people, is sometimes is people can kind of update their name by renaming themselves with their mood. I'm feeling happy. I'm good. I'm not so sure about what's happening here, etc. Let's leave it there for now. Okay. So, um, what else? In terms of the chat, okay, you click on chat, you can join, you can say hello to people. Yeah, you click enter, your message will appear. And also, if your facilitator, if your trainer has set up the Zoom in such a way that you can share messages with people privately, you can also do that. I usually do that. Can be distracting, but it's also quite nice for people to be able to speak to each other, unless things get out of hand. In which case, people are being disrespectful and so on. In which case, then I suspend that option. Or if I know that there's possibility for that sort of behavior, then I don't allow that option. But generally speaking, people are behaving. So then you click on either everyone in meeting to send a chat to everyone, or you can send a chat to particular individuals. Send a direct message, and then you can enter, and that direct message goes there. Make sure that when you're finished, you click back to everyone, so that next time you send a message, it doesn't just go to that last private message, the person that you send the last private message to, but it actually goes to everyone. Okay, you can click on file and you can share files if you want to share something in particular, right? Okay, and so because right now I'm a co-host, not just a participant, I have a few more options here. So I can select, you see, who people can chat with, either with no one or with everyone publicly, or everyone publicly and directly, and so on. Okay, and so right now I'm going to make myself a full participant. And so what I'm going to do is right now on my phone, I am the main host. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove the co-hosting permissions for myself on the computer. Okay. All right. And so that means that my menu has changed. Have you noticed that? So now you've got reactions. I'm allowing you to record. So you could record the session as well if you'd like, if you're joining one of my sessions. And you also have access to the chat and so on. And so now, as a participant, in any of our sessions, you will have the opportunity to be part of breakout groups. Okay, and so when I create breakout groups, you have that option, but when I haven't created breakout groups, you don't have that option. So what I'm going to do briefly is I'm going to create some breakout groups. So in order to do that, I'm going to just make myself a host again on my computer. So if you'll excuse me just one second. Voila. And so now I'm the host of my computer. You see that on the bottom of my screen, the menu has changed. You see over here. Now these are instructions for people who are interested in getting the best out of Zoom. Okay. And so you will have the option to click on breakout groups. Once you click on breakout groups, if you want to create breakout rooms, you can select the number of breakout rooms. Say I'm going to create 4 breakout rooms. I could choose to either assign them automatically. That means Zoom chooses them, chooses where participants go at random. I can choose to assign people manually. So I select where people go and who meets with who in smaller rooms. Or I can let participants choose their own room. I quite like to let participants choose their own room. So then if I click create, it takes me to the next step, which is the space where, again, these are instructions not for participants, but for the hosts of the meeting. That's for you leading a meeting. You can rename the meeting room. And so I could call one, say, oak tree. Okay, and I click yes, and you see the name has changed. Whoops, I didn't type that properly. And so I click enter and the name has changed, and I can rename any of the uh, any of the rooms. So I've got row and tree, etc., etc. Right? And so then this is really important. This is a really important step. Do not miss it. If you're facilitating spaces, you click on this little icon down below, and you have the option to select the amount of time you want your breakout rooms to last. So maybe I want 15 minutes. This is also really important down here, the countdown timer. You know how annoying it is when you're in the middle of a sentence and they kick you out of a virtual room, right? And so you don't want to do that to people. You might want to select uh, an amount of time that's reasonable enough. 60 seconds is quite good. So people get a notice when the breakout room is going to finish. Let's just make this 2 minutes, rather short one. You can also select any of these at your leisure, depending on what you're trying to do, what you're trying to achieve, and what works for you. Once that's ready and set up, okay, then you can open all rooms. Okay, and once you open all rooms, you can still assign people. There are some people who might forget to get the latest version of Zoom, in which case you will have to manually assign them. You see how the clock is ticking now? Okay, and so then you can send people to rooms. So I'm going to send, I could send Jose to another room, my other self to another room there. Okay, so this is then what happens with breakout rooms. So I can also broadcast the message to anyone in breakout rooms, so I can say, hello, here are some new instructions. So if you've forgotten to say something, then you can just say it to the broadcast and it'll briefly appear on the screen. I can't see it myself, but they will see it on their screen for about 2 seconds. Yeah, you can also send messages on the chat to the rooms. Okay, I'm gonna close these rooms for now and notice how it's gonna go from 1 minute to, okay, you notice this on the top? It says they've been given 60 seconds and then a countdown timer comes for 60 seconds before all these participants return to the main room. Okay, I'm gonna just quickly recreate the rooms. This time I'm gonna assign them. I'm gonna, I'm gonna let participants choose anyway as well. I'm gonna change the settings for timings so that this can be maybe 10 minutes. And I'm gonna open the rooms. And so now what I'm gonna show you is what it looks like for a participant joining a breakout room. In order to do that, as I'm the host right now, I'm gonna make my other self the host. Should have put different names so that yeah, it's maybe easier for you to identify who is here. Okay, so Jose Barco Colombia is the host right now. That's me speaking, and then the other one, I'm going to make the host. And as soon as I do that, notice the menu. The menu has changed. I can now see the participant menu. If I close that, this is what your participants will be seeing when you're invited to join breakout rooms. You click on breakout rooms, yeah, and then you'll see, if you click on here, you'll be able to see who's in each room. There's only 2 people here, so there's not much to see. And there's no one in any of those rooms anywhere right now. And then you can hover your mouse over here on the right-hand side and you can click join. And when you click join, you'll get another prompt to say yes. So click yes. And now I'm joining room 1. And so I'll join room 1, and here is room 1. Okay. And so I'm in room 1. I've got this menu, and I can do whatever I need to do. If for some reason I'm having any trouble and I need further instructions or something is not working out, I click on breakout rooms and I can ask for help. This is really important. And then invite the host to come and visit the breakout room to give you further instructions, to clarify things, or to give you any tech support that you may need. Okay. Once you finish your conversation, again, you can use the chat on here. All right. Once you finish your conversation, you can click leave room. Now, don't leave meeting. Don't click leave meeting. Click leave breakout room. When you click leave breakout room, you return to the main session. And here we are. Okay, we're back to the main session. I'll make sure that my mic is open so that people can hear me when it's my turn to speak. And then I'm just going to show you something else. So if you want to share a screen, you click on share screen and then you can select which screen you want to share from your computer. Okay, so whether you just want to share this, or maybe I want to share my Google Chrome screen. So I'm going to share that for you, and then you'll be able to see what's happening now. I'm on Zoom sharing my screen on my Google Chrome, which reversely is on Loom, an app which I'm using to record this video. Okay, I'm gonna stop sharing. There's one more thing I want to show you, and is that say you're on you've clicked on expand, you're on your full screen, and say you want to work simultaneously on Zoom and on another platform. Say you want to be on Zoom and be on Miro boards, or you want to be on Zoom in a Google Doc. You minimize your window. You move your window by dragging it to one side. You see when I hover over the side of my window or the top, I can click and drag and adjust the size of it. Okay, that means I can see this application, and at the same time I can maybe click on my web browser. Okay, and then on my web browser I'm going to go maybe to my Miro board, and on my Miro board I do the same. I click on this little icon here so that I minimize it, and you see how now they're overlapped. I do the same thing. I hover my mouse over the edge and I drag this around so that then I have the option of being on there and also being on here on a different app. Okay, let's try with a different app so that you can see um, what it's like when I'm not on Loom. So, for example, if I just go to Google, okay, and I wanna, as I'm watching people in my Zoom meeting, I can still, you see, drag this across through the side. I can see people on my Zoom screen, and I can still do anything else at the same time. Okay, so I could go, for example, to a yeah, Google Doc or something like that, or wherever it is that you might need to go. Okay, say Jamboards. Okay, so we could go to, for example, a Google Jamboard, and then this means we can work in simultaneous on another platform. Okay, and so I can work on another platform. You see, so I'm opening a Jamboard, for example, and I can begin to do something else on here. Yeah. Okay. So this is how you work in simultaneous on Zoom or using the split screen function. Okay, folks. So enough of that. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm gonna love you and leave you. Again, my name is Jose Barco, co-founding director of Community Collab and Inside Hub. If you haven't heard from us and don't know what we do, please visit www.communitycollab.co.uk or www.insidehub.co and join us. We have some of the latest social technologies for you getting you people, whoever they are, to work better together. And also we work with the latest online tools for collaboration, participation, and self-organization. Look forward to meeting you.